We haven't asked Henry how his uncle died yet. That
Yeah.
sounds like a good choice.
Yeah.
Did that. I haven't done that.
I haven't done that.
I do love that she's mixing it up this time, because sometimes she just says still need to do that over and over and over again, and I feel like I've talked about this before, which
You
is...
talk about it every time.
I just hate it. Say something important. Significant.
Yes?
Why did I turned his chair around from way far away that time? Didn't very get close to him.
How did Bruno die?
I don't think you're the one turning his chair around.
Just dropped dead in the front hallway.
Every time I
I
want
mean,
to
the
talk
guy
to him, I
was
grab the back of that chair and
Rip.
yank it around.
Yeah, I can see why he wouldn't like you.
Myocardial infarction. That's doctor speak for heart attack.
Attending physician Dr. Gilbert Buford, 504-555.
Look at all these.
Are we gonna send
Myocardial
Bess
infarction.
to go
And
interrogate
his
this
best
doctor?
friend, or so I'm told. I've never met him.
No, Ari
Interesting
Coxie.
keychain.
That's one of Uncle Bruno's glass eyes. It's the one he was wearing when he died.
How nice.
Anything else?
It's the one
They
he's
all
wearing
been
when
in
he
his
died.
body. Why did he keep them all throughout the house? Different places.
This
Why do you have to
this
solve a
dude-
puzzle to do it?
This dude was a freak. Okay. Also, the puzzles were easy. He knows the answers already.
Yeah.
He was just trying to keep other people's hands off him. But he hadn't met us. And he still hasn't met us because he's dead now.
Yeah.
So what do you think about this whole
If we'd have been there,
infarction?
he wouldn't have died. You know that I was thinking it was funny actually yesterday at Assassins how that one whole song about FDR that where like those people were like, since I was there, he didn't die, and it made me think of he didn't have to die.
Yeah.
That did you think about that too?
No, I didn't think about it at all. Actually, funnily enough, I'd never once considered it. The guy who played John Wilkes Booth looked so much like a theater guy. It was amazing.
He did.
He looks like every high school theater guy grown up that gets
Yeah.
all the main roles. Like
Yeah.
all of them combined, but then he was taller and also older. He just gave off, I'm sure he was the guy in his high school who was in all the plays as the main.
In Wisconsin.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Lady doling out the samples in the tasting room of that cheese factory.
Yes, every time I call her, she doesn't remember who I am.
No, I met you at
Oh,
Wickford
you
Castle.
can call her in
That's
most ways.
ridiculous. There was no cheese tasting room at Wickford Castle.
No, we were both guests there.
What?
I found a
Why
journal
does she
written
think
by
I'm
Marie Antoinette, which you
cheese?
translated. Remember?
Hey, yeah, I remember that.
All I can think about is how wonderful a nice big slab of Colby cheese would taste right now.
Girl,
Are you on the
she's
same
right
page
though.
as her?
Deadline, so if you could please just tell me why you called.
But my name isn't...
Deadline, let's cut to the
Great,
chase.
this one was
shall we?
fine, but I wouldn't go out of my way to like buy it again.
I thought it was nice. I didn't see anything wrong with it, but you're
I mean,
right.
there's nothing wrong with it. It's just like I'm not gonna go try to buy a case of it.
It's just kind of sweet cider.
Yeah.
So, nothing special. You know what I want? I want the cider from, I want the cider from Fantastic Mr. Fox.
That one doesn't exist.
In my heart. In my heart, it's real.
That's a great movie.
Well, we'll just get straight to the point. I don't want to live in a hole anymore.
From New Orleans named Bruno Bollet ever call you?
That is a good movie.
There's a name you can remember.
Oops.
Bollet. Nice and French. I'm a scholar of French history, you know.
Yeah,
Yes,
I know.
Bitch.
So, did Bruno Bollet call you?
Indeed he did.
Wait.
Oh my god, why do I have to keep
Go.
selecting things? How long ago or why?
I think why?
Why did he call? If you don't mind my asking.
Who cares about how long ago? He's
Go ahead.
dead.
I have to ask this.
Of course, the crystal skulls. Fact or fable, one of my best efforts. Sold like hotcakes, smothered in a rich, tangy lemon sauce.
This girl
Did
is
he say
crazy.
anything about owning one of the skulls himself?
I would have hung up on him straight away if he had.
I think it's fiction.
If I had $1 for every crackpot who's called,
He's a crackpot.
She called me Brandy.
I'd be able to dine at the
I'm
Russian
fucking-
Tea Rock every evening
I can't believe they use the word crackpot in this game.
No,
Whisper.
Wanted to know if I had learned any more
That's some
about it
ASMR.
since my book was published, which I hadn't, or if I had any theory as to what happened to it, which I didn't.
And that was the extent of your conversation?
I gave him no useful information, just flirted with him because he was French.
Insatiable curiosity, Nellie. You remind me of someone I encountered on one of my journeys. But for the life of me, I
She
can't
hang up on
remember
him
the name or
because
the
she's like, stop pointing out
circumstances.
things I don't
Nancy
want.
Drew, Wickford Castle?
Ah, the eyes have it.
I'm sorry?
That's what Bruno Bolet said when I turned the tables and asked him if he had any idea where the Whisperer was.
I hope the mic's
Said
picking up
the
alright.
eyes have it. Then he chuckled and hung up.
Now, what is I spelled with A mean? The A's have it? A.
Well, and also, did she spell it to him over the phone?
Did he spell it to her over the phone?
Yeah.
And did she just spell it to us over the phone?
Who knows?
Because if they hadn't spelled it at all, I would have thought it was the eyeballs.
Yeah. Especially since we found 4 eyeballs.
Disturbed.
How much would a crystal skull like the Whisperer be worth?
In this crazy day and age,
Nothing.
short hair and used tissues of celebrities get sold for thousands of dollars. There's absolutely no telling, Candy. $500,000 easily.
Just,
Maybe even $1 million.
you know, if I was her,
Maybe 2,
stick
maybe
to
10.
it.
The sky's the limit.
She doesn't even remember. She's got a problem. She doesn't even remember where she is.
Yeah. How's she written so many books?
If someone found
Because
a
once you
skull
write
made
it
of
down, you don't have
crystal,
to
how could
remember
they
it.
be sure it's one of those crystal skulls?
That's true. I found that to be true.
How indeed? Because there are sure to be thousands of fakes out there. Perhaps tens of thousands.
Yeah, because crystal, like, not
It's
a...
not rare.
Not rare. And I don't believe it's that difficult to carve.
So why is there all this mysticism around the crystal skull? Easy to make.
Yeah, just make another one. Modern day tools would have left marks if the skull was fake. Okay.
Modern day tools would have left marks if the
But what if
skull
you
was a fake?
reinvented an olden day tool?
Mind you, the marks on a good fake
The
would be
technology is lost.
microscopic and thus
It's lost to
imperceptible
ancient
to the human
technology.
eye.
But what if
However,
you
any
accidentally...
No, actually, you know what I bet it is? They were originally
So
skulls.
the only way to prove
They
that a skull is the
crystallized.
real deal
They're
is by proving
formed.
it's
They're
not a
crystals in
fake?
the form of skulls. They were never carved.
Yeah.
No
Yeah,
marks.
I bet you're right in this fictional Nancy Drew game.
I'm always right in the fictional Nancy Drew game. That's why it's named fiction.
In the mid-19th century, that would tend to support its authenticity as well.
I don't know what she's talking about.
If it had a line, like a
The
lineage,
idea
like
that
it
the
went to
Whisperer
this
can
person,
make
and
its
then this
owner
person, and this person,
immortal.
goes
Do you
all the way
believe
back
that?
to Emperor Atahualpa.
Any so-called rational
Wow.
explanation
Atahualpa.
happen all the
Wow.
time,
Wow.
Nessie. Now, does that mean
Wow.
there
Wow.
are mysterious external forces at work in the universe of which we do not
All it
have
reminds me
any
of is the
knowledge
Pop
or
Tropica
knowledge?
with the
Or does
Aztec.
it all boil down to us? If the
It's a
human
time
heart
traveler.
The time
desperately
traveler.
wants something to be true, does the human mind
Blah,
have the
blah,
power to
blah,
make
good
it
God. She's
true?
so
Who
annoying.
knows?
Why would they write a character like this? This is not the fun part of the game, is not talking to people.
Life would be without
What's the fun
In your
part?
book, you
The
said that
puzzles.
people who've ever owned the Whisperer were
It's
murdered.
obviously
Which,
Yet
so
Bruno
far,
Bolet dropped dead of a
so
heart
if in the
attack.
other game, we didn't really have to look up, like, much to know what to do next, but we did have to look up, like, one puzzle.
the otters.
Otters.
Otters. And the chemistry, because we're not going to list it.
Yeah.
Because if he owned the skull and he died, I guarantee you it was at the hands of someone else. Or my name's not
Murder.
So far in this one, we haven't had trouble with the puzzles.
No, the puzzles haven't been too bad. It's figuring out what to do next.
Call this man.
Dr. Gilbert Buford.
Unfortunately, I can't click on anything else while the phone is ringing.
This is
Buford?
Dr. Gilbert Buford's answering service. How may I help you?
I need to talk to Dr. Buford.
How
Could
may
you
I
maybe
help
give me a
you?
number where I can reach him?
Should we leave the other one
ma'am,
for
I
another
can,
day?
Is this an emergency?
Sort of. I mean, it's not a medical
I have to be
emergency.
at
I just
school.
see. I'm only going to be in
I have to
town
be
for
up
a
at
short
10,
time,
so
and Dr.
that's gonna
Buford and
work
I
for
have
me.
this mutual friend who died
Actually, I have to
recently,
be up before
and I
10
just
because I
really
have
need to talk to him
registration
about it.
tomorrow.
Ah.
Consoling, huh?
Yes,
I'm
I
too
need some
drunk to hit the
consoling. Let's
buttons.
get this settled.
Well, tell
From
you
the
what.
half cider I
Half
drank
a
last night.
can of
Phone
cider.
number, but I can tell you that now that he's all but retired, Dr. Buford spends most of his evenings at his favorite gumbo stand down in the French Quarter. If you really need to talk to him, you can probably find him there.
Great. Do you know the address?
Another
It's at the
task
corner of
force.
Rampart and Domain.
Did you say Rampart and Domain?
I did indeed. Granny Punkin's Cajun cooking.
Granny Punkin's Cajun cooking.
Thank you.
Would
They
you
got
go there?
some unique
Very
eats, I
much.
bet.
You're welcome.
Would you go to
and,
Granny
I'm
Pumpkin's
truly
Cajun
sorry about
cooking?
your loss.
I've never really had like
That
Cajun
mutual friend
fare.
of yours and Dr. Buford?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Either.
Thank you.
I think I've
That's
had
very kind
jambalaya
of
like
you.
at a restaurant,
Bye.
off a restaurant menu, but
Really? I've never,
not like
I've
a
never had
Cajun
like authentic
restaurant.
like
Yeah.
Louisiana food.
no, I've never been to New Orleans. I mean, we've had beignets.
I haven't. I don't like them. I'm scared to try them this time. When I say I don't like them, is I don't like donuts, so I've never tried a beignet.
Okay.
Did that.
Did that. I'm so
Did that.
callous.
I haven't done that.
Oh. Oh. I guess I'll call somebody else.
Jesus, this sucks ass. Cell service out here is great though.
Yeah, it's telling Beth to go everywhere. It's the middle of the night, and I'm like, hey.
Is this game, do you think
Yes,
this
it's
game
me.
is also going
So
to
what
be
do you
all
think?
one
Tell me
night?
everything.
Well, let's see. Since
I don't know,
last time
maybe.
we talked, I was just about.
You're supposed to play it in the dark.
Yep. Gonna eat this.
Aw. I guess I have to eat the other one. That's 2 cookies. No.
I need you to talk to this doctor named Gilbert Buford, who, as it turns out, likes to hang out at a gumbo stand called Granny Pumpkin's Cajun Cooking, which should be right across from our hotel.
You just want me to talk to him? That's it? Nothing nefarious? No black ops?
Girl, you
stuff?
decided to make a
He was
man
Bruno Bolet's
sneeze
doctor, and
Himself
apparently
to
his
death.
best friend,
himself to
too.
death on your
I
own.
just need for you to see if he thinks there was anything weird about the way Bruno died.
What do you mean by weird?
I mean, I kind of think maybe Bruno was murdered.
Murdered? By whom?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Everyone's a suspect at this point.
Including this Gilbert Buford guy?
Well,
Great, I'm gonna be chatting up Jack the Ripper.
oh, I'm sure the guy's fine, but be subtle. Just
Be subtle.
Well, I can see the gumbo stand from our balcony. If he's the guy that's sitting down there, I guess he looks harmless. Okay,
looks
I'll
old.
go
I'm
talk
gonna
to him.
talk to that guy.
let me know what happens.
See, I thought for some reason that Zeke's was a pizza place and that he was the waiter at that pizza place. And I was
Why?
wrong.
Hello, young lady. How kind of you to grace an
They did
old
not do
man
this,
with your
man.
lovely presence.
Well,
He looks like he's made out of wax.
yeah. His whole head looks too small for his features.
We're just at a bad angle.
Are you Dr. Gilbert Buford?
We're looking at him
I'm
straight on.
delighted to report that
Some
I
people, that's
can
not
indeed.
everyone's best angle. We're gonna eat a whole tray of cookies.
No, this is gonna be my last one.
Your answering service said I'd probably find you.
Can you imagine if you
This
had
here is
did
my
have a
favorite
physical
spot
person
in
pick
the
up your
whole
phone and
city.
say like,
Delicious
"Oh, they're not
gumbo,
available."
pleasing view,
Thanks,
particularly
Casey.
now, I might add.
My name's Bess Marvin.
We
I'd
don't
like
have
to
those
ask you
loud
some
vocals.
questions about Bruno Bolet, if that's okay.
I'd prefer
Look at these,
subject matter of a happier nature, but I do
crayfish.
not want to seem
Crawfish.
inhospitable, so
Crawdads.
what is it you want to know?
Or crayfish. It's
Is it
like
true
always
that
like one of
Bolet
those
was your
regional
best friend?
Well,
Yeah.
now, I was
I think
certainly
I say
his
crawfish.
best friend, but I cannot
It's spelled with
honestly
the
say
W.
that he was mine.
You can spell it with a Y
Fact
too.
is,
I don't think you spell it with
while
Y. I think it's always spelled with
socializing
W
my
We
and
fellow
should
just
man,
spell
pronounced.
crawdads
particularly
differently
pretty
than
young women
crawfish.
such as yourself.
Yeah, because it ends in
Has always
dads.
been a
Mhm.
source of pleasure for me.
You can write
Bruno was
crayfish.
just the opposite. Unfortunately, the older he got, the more numerous his idiosyncrasies became, and the less concern about their negative effect upon others he became.
His idiosyncrasies didn't bother you?
Now, as a doctor of medicine, I am not only accustomed to dealing with the abnormal, but I find that I am actually drawn to it. I, for one, thoroughly enjoyed
I was right,
Sarah
Bruno's
just
outlandish
looked up
personality.
crayfish on her
Although, at the
phone
same time,
and
I fear
shoved
it
it
may
in my
have played a
face.
role
Yeah.
in his demise.
I wonder, but like,
You
are
see,
crawfish and
he
crayfish the
died
same
of a
thing?
Yes, they are.
myocardial infarction, most likely caused by age-related atherosclerosis.
Age-related
Dying of a heart attack is all too
atherosclerosis.
common for people who are
Socially
isolated.
isolated.
And
Yeah, look.
Bruno Bollet had most
Jesus
certainly
Christ.
become
It's
that.
actually spelled crayfish on this.
Yeah, but you can spell it with a W as well. Anyway, did they do an autopsy?
Crawfish, crawdad, or crayfish? You'll be pleased to know.
Did they do an
There isn't a
autopsy
difference
on Dr.
between any of them.
Bollet?
No. Given Bruno's advanced age and the absence of any indication of foul play, an autopsy was deemed
Would
unnecessary.
you be weirded out if you
But
were
I was
eating at a
cremated
restaurant and this
according to
woman came up
Bruno's
to you and
wish.
said, "How did this guy die? Are you sure?"
No, I mean, if I had an answering service that regularly told people where I was, I don't think I'd be surprised if anybody.
No, I would be like, "Get away from my crayfish so I can eat." When he had his
Where was Dr. Bollet
when he had his
his
Michigan?
MI?
No,
In the
his
foyer
Mayo.
of his house, just inside the front door. In fact, I hadn't seen him for a while, so I picked that day to pay him a visit. I walked up to the front door, found it unlocked.
That's
as usual,
suspicious.
As usual.
and there he was.
So it's
lying on
usually
the
unlocked.
floor in obvious distress. The next thing I know, his housekeeper came running in and started shrieking and carrying on until finally I sent her out of the room so she could summon an ambulance, and I could.
She had to do the summoning spell and an ambulance.
Renee killed him.
Ambulance
Then
Accio!
I knelt
No.
down and saw that he wasn't breathing. So I pulled him away from the doorway so I'd have more room to work on him, and began
You know, it
chest
could be
compressions.
Renee because she's the
I
one
can
who
tell
found
you
our
until the
body and
medics
she has like
arrived that
herbal
nothing they did
knowledge,
made
so
a
maybe
difference
she
either.
knocked us out.
Yeah.
But I don't really think it's her.
Was something blown in our face that knocked us out?
Yes.
Okay.
They shoved a phone that said crayfish in our face and we passed
Yeah.
out.
Oh my god, that was like a phone W.
Why would he have a heart attack in the foyer? It just doesn't make
Was Dr.
sense.
Bollet
You know, a heart
unconscious the
attack
whole time?
No, you can only have a heart
Yes,
attack
he
near
was.
a toaster that
Can
you've
you
left
remember
running
anything that
because
might
that's why you
indicate what
smell
he was
burnt
doing by
toast.
the front door? I mean, had he just come
That's a
in from a
stroke.
walk? Was he wearing a hat?
Either way, it's not a very good joke.
Had he dropped something?
Also, 'cause I
An
didn't listen
umbrella?
to it.
Oh.
So I was paying
Sunglasses?
attention
Wait
to
a
the
minute.
narrative.
Why,
of the game.
yes, he was holding something.
A piece of paper.
And on the floor next to him was an envelope.
He must have collapsed while reading a letter.
Ah, somebody's a
Which
detective.
letter was it?
Someone thinks they're a detective.
There's only 26 options.
Do you know what happened to it?
Now I know
That one was
the
funny,
letter
but
no
in a, like,
longer in
kind of
Bruno's hand when the paramedics arrived, so perhaps he released the letter when I moved him. And yet I do
Released
not
the
recall seeing
letter?
him on the floor
Like
when
not an
they wheeled him
animal.
out the door. Iggy.
What's icky?
Iggy.
Iggy is the
iguana
good
Bruno
one.
befriended, then turned
Bruno was
loose
one
from
of
his
the
home. It
Wildcats.
soon developed the annoying habit of stealing paper and stockpiling it in
So
the
now we have to
nest
find
system.
Iggy's nest. Sorry,
Yeah.
not his
Well,
neck.
and that spider that's guarding that one key is also one of his pets.
Are you saying an
I know.
iguana
He has
made
that
off with
crocodile.
the letter
I
Bruno
know.
had been reading?
It would
They're all his
not
pets.
have been the first time a missing document ended up in Iggy's
Ow.
possession.
The little
Renee
stone
would
thing? I don't think we saw the
periodically
real
call
life
me
thing,
saying
did
the
we?
lizard had absconded with one of Bruno's prescriptions, and would I please write her up a replacement? In any case, Bruno once told me he was training Iggy. Said he taught Iggy to retrieve the things it had stolen.
How? We're gonna have to figure out how he trained Iggy.
You think this woman killed him?
Did Dr. Bollet ever say anything to you about owning a crystal skull?
Why, yes. Yes, he did.
Why?
In fact, he showed it to me once.
I feel like
Said it
it
had
can't be Renee
magical
because we're
powers.
too early
Said
on
owning
like
it was gonna
suspecting
allow
it.
him to live
But there's
forever.
only been
I thought it was
2
utter
characters
nonsense
that
and
are
told him so.
suspects.
Well,
Yeah.
he didn't appreciate that at all.
Maybe it's the Zeke's
Refused
guy.
to talk to me for a full 2 weeks.
That's what I was thinking. Because he has all those powders. But somebody could have bought those powders. There's like one missing.
Bot. say to him? Can you scroll up? I
What's it
wanted to
look
see
like?
what it
The
was.
camera's
Looks quite
Ah,
beautiful,
blah.
actually. Life size, perfect in form and clarity.
Perfect.
Like a diamond almost. Tell me, Miss Bess.
Because it was
What
crystal.
do you know about that crystal
What do
stone?
you know of living?
This friend of mine, who is also a friend
Miss
of Henry
Bass.
Boulay, you know, Dr. Boulay's great nephew. Anyway, while she was visiting Henry,
She's a
she
friend
saw
of a
this
friend of
in
Henry
Bruno's
Boulay.
diary.
She's
She's
a
a friend
girl.
of a friend of a
She's
friend.
a girlfriend. This girl is a friend of a friend of a girlfriend.
Bruno's only friend.
No, of a girlfriend of a
Bruno
friend.
had said something to
Of
you
a
about it,
nephew.
and as it turns out, he had.
She's the friend of a girlfriend of a friend of a nephew.
I see. Well, much as I'd like to believe that skull holds the key to immortality, I'm
Immortality.
afraid Bruno's passing proves it's worthless. Although it would make an attractive paperweight, as I recall. Tell your friend not to give
Girl.
it another thought.
Don't give it another thought. I'm sure
Do you
she's
think
going
it's
to.
possible that Renee caused Dr. Boulay's death by, say, hoarding the pills from those missing prescriptions and
Now,
giving
Bess
them
thinks
to him
she's
all
a
at once?
detective.
No.
I think she
Had he
shouldn't
died of
speculate.
an
That's
overdose
weird.
of the medications
I think-
prescribed, the manner of his death would have been quite different. But he died of a heart attack. Of that, I am certain. However,
How are the ways you
I
can
know
cause a
for
heart
fact
attack?
that Renee is deeply involved
Heart stops
in the
working?
practice of hoodoo. And as Bruno's housekeeper, she had ample
Are
opportunity
they like just
to
not
use it
using the
against my
term
poor old
Voodoo? I don't know. Is hoodoo a thing?
So what do you
Is
think
the
that,
question.
if like in Nancy Drew, none of the real religions exist, and instead of calling it Christianity,
They call it
like,
history-anity.
Christianity. They call it Christianity with a K.
Yeah. No, hoodoo is a thing.
Okay, what is it?
It's voodoo.
You mean hoodoo really works?
Hoodoo,
young lady.
parentheses spirituality, is a
Ever
set of spiritual
underestimate the
practices,
power of
traditions, and beliefs that were created
If a
by
person
enslaved
believes in
African
something,
Americans
even on
in
a
the southern United
subconscious
States.
level,
From
fantasy
various
can
traditional
easily
African
become
spiritualities,
fact. And who
Christianity,
knows what
and
rubbish
elements of
Renee filled
indigenous
Bruno's mind
botanical
with? Drink
knowledge.
this,
Well, then what's
don't
the
eat
difference
that.
between
This brings
What
good
is the
luck, that
relation
brings
to
bad,
voodoo?
day in and day out.
I'll look up
Even if
voodoo
he
now.
said he didn't believe a word of it, who
Oh, that's
knows
great.
how much
What if
his
every other piece of
subconscious was
media
absorbing?
uses voodoo
He
and
was
that
very
isn't real?
old and vulnerable. So
No, I'm just
could
kidding.
Renee
Voodoo
have
comes
caused
from,
Bruno to have that
like,
fatal heart
the
attack?
voodoo spelled
There's
V-U-D-U.
not a doubt in my mind she could indeed.
So it wants me. Okay, religions. West African Voodoo, a
I've bugged you
religion.
enough.
Feel free to
Okay,
drop by
African
anytime.
diaspora religions. So it's just another. It's so voodoo is hoodoo is sometimes called Low Country voodoo.
Oh, in Low Country would be easy.
Yes, but there's also Louisiana voodoo or New Orleans voodoo. So.
Alright. Well, she is a white
Yeah, that's true.
one.
Anyway,
Should we take a break there?
yeah, I think we should.
I'm gonna go ahead and save the game. As
Voodoo? Question mark. That's actually.
Oh, I can't put a question
You
mark.
can't put a question mark. That's funny though.
Parentheses.
Wonder why you can't put an actual question mark.
I don't know.
Alrighty.